All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how Esau is going to have a lot to think about, man. Right? He's going to have a lot to think about when he realizes that it's actually him that's going into captivity, man. Right? Because despite what a lot of these people think and they want to try and say about how we're not the Israelites, all of their actions show that they are starting to believe that we are the Israelites and that they're starting to believe that they are not, man. And that they're not even got a chance, because some of the things that they try and do and some of the scriptures that they try and use to make salvation be for themselves, like Genesis 33:10, right, shows that the way how Jacob supplanted Esau even back then was so smooth and so beautiful that it still works on Edomites now, man. Right? It still works now. That same words, right, still works to supplant Esau now, to where Esau actually believes that Jacob loves him and that Jacob meant what he was saying back then. As if Jacob really actually meant that when he saw Esau's face, he thought that he'd seen God. No, that's not what he meant, man. He was supplanting him. But they can think all of that all they want. They're still going into captivity. And when they're in there, they're going to have a lot to think about, man. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And those strangers are strangers from the house of Jacob. They're going to be cleaved to the house of Jacob. And they're going to be joined with their own people again. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were. Now, there ain't nothing worse than that. Imagine you've just been able to tell, just imagine even in a workplace, man. Just in a place where you brothers work or your sisters work or whatever, right? That the person that's telling you what to do in there, now you end up being in the situation where you're telling them what to do. They ain't going to want to show up to work. But here's the thing with the scenario that's coming. They ain't going to have a choice but to show up to work. They're not going to have a choice, man. If they want to say, nah, I don't want to work, I'll quit. There ain't going to be no availability to quit in the time that's coming, man. And that's why you got Volker Malone running to all kind of scriptures, man, to try and make salvation be for Esau. He's tried everything already. He's tried loads of things already. He said that the Edomites was done away with. But now he's saying that actually Jacob repented and Jacob loved Esau. But he's tried to say that Job was an Edomite before. He's had people come on his podcast thing, whatever you want to call it, to ask if Paul was an Edomite. He's tried all kind of things, man. He's tried everything. He's tried to come with John 3:16. He's tried to rap. He's tried everything, and none of it's worked, man. None of the techniques that he's tried to use to try and make salvation be for him has worked. You see what I mean? None of it's worked, man. Ain't none of that worked. Like this guy's a joke, and all the things that these Edomites do on a day-to-day basis, man, from big things to small things, man. Right? They're gonna have a lot to think about when they're in captivity, man. They're gonna have to really sit there and think and consider how it is that they ended up in this position if they're not the Edomites. They're gonna be on the bottom of a ship, just like how we was on the bottom of ships, and they're gonna be able to having to think about this. Okay, so we're not the Edomites. We're just Caucasian. So how comes this is happening to Caucasians then? How comes this is? They're gonna have a lot to think about, man. They're gonna be able to see. They're gonna be put in a position where they're gonna have to think about this. Isaiah 14 and verse 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee, meaning that you're dead, man. How art thou fallen from heaven, O light bearer? You Edomites was the light bearer for this world at the time, from the time that we're living in right now, right? But your light's dimming, man. How art thou cut down from the ground, which didst weaken the nations, and you Edomites have weakened every nation? You definitely weakened our nation. There ain't no doubt about that. But you're over in the world, in other places, weakening other people's nations, man. You try and weaken us just at the borders of our house. There ain't nowhere that we can go that you Edomites are not trying to get on our nerves, man. You're weirdos. You're weird because you hate our guts, right? You're disgusted by us. You're trying to do things against us all the time, right? You're envious of us in every single way. But at the same time, right, you want us to like you, and we don't like you. Just like how you don't like us, man. So the feeling's mutual. So why are you getting all emotional that we don't like you when you don't like us? It doesn't make any sense. We both don't like each other. So what difference does it make? Verse 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the north, in the sides of the north. So if they've said all of this, right, let me go verse 14 as well. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And these are all the things that you Edomites have thought in your heart, right? But when you end up in the position where you're not doing all of that stuff, right, where you went from where you was going to do the Karagma, where you was going to have AI rewrite books and all of these things to try and rewrite a version of the Bible that they can put the LG alphabet community in there and make it seem like it's acceptable. Because these are some of the things that they're trying to do. Rewrite a version of the Bible where Esau gets salvation. Rewrite a version of the Bible, but change the word Esau with the word Jacob everywhere that's written. And make it be where the Edomites are the ones that are the chosen. And it says in there, as it is written, Esau have I loved and Jacob have I hated. That's the kind of things that they'd want to do in their bugged out mind, man. As if that's going to rewrite what Yahweh thinks. That's not going to rewrite what Yahweh believes. But these are the kind of things that they'd want to do, man. And that's why in these churches, they're trying to allow things that the scriptures prohibits, man. Verse 16, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Because people are going to get to see you Edomites in your natural state, man. And the Edomites' natural state looks more like a family that you can look up on the internet called the Whitakers, man. And some of them bark like dogs, man. The Whitakers. If you go on the internet and you type in the Whitaker family, you will see that family, and that is what Esau's real state is, man. It's not wearing a suit and tie and a leather jacket. It's ripped pants, living with dogs in a house where the walls are falling down, and they bark and they stink, man. And they can't even barely talk. That's Esau's real state. And no Edomite can watch that family and get proud, man. And that's why when the guy that has the channel that puts all that videos out there, a lot of these Edomites always donate to that family, because that hurts their feelings to see their Edomite brothers look that way, because they can catch that that's their real state, and it gets rid of the lie that they have about themselves, that they're just so righteous and that they're just so perfect, man, because they know that that's not too far away from that Neanderthal image that they're trying to put out there, where they try and talk all that evolution stuff, man. That's like 1 or 2 stages away from that. And they're going to go back to that, man. All their pride and everything that they've been doing now, they're going to realize, man, when they're in them ships, man, going into slavery, they're going to realize that, man, we should have left these people alone, man. We should have not touched these people. All the time when we was trying to get on these people's nerves, we should have just left them alone, because these Edomites do things all the time, man, to try and antagonize. It's quite disgusting. And they think that we don't know what they're doing. But we know. But now we know why they're doing it. So now we have the covering, man. We have the covering. We know that they try and antagonize situations, right? So that they can get you to act carnal. So that they can call the police. So that they can throw you in jail. We know these things. And that's why these Edomites are hurt to the heart, man. Because when you just tell an Edomite that they're an Edomite, they'll smile in your face. They'll smile in your face and be like, oh, yeah, right, mate. But when they go home, they research what an Edomite is. And then they find out that it is that. And that they are that. And it makes perfect sense. And then they start up a YouTube anonymous account, and they find every single Hebrew Israelite video that they can find. And they copy and paste a whole essay about how God loves everyone on John 3:16, and they just keep going to every single channel and pressing Control, Alt, and V and copy and pasting that. on every single channel video that they can see. And any video that they end up finding where it sounds like someone's against the Israelites, then they start believing that. And then they eventually stumble upon Vocab Malone, and then they get gassed up because they think, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then they end up realizing that he also too doesn't know what he's talking about, but he's the closest thing that they can find that makes them feel comfortable with what they've heard about them being an Edomite. And he soothes their ego and massages it down to make them believe that they're not an Edomite, but they are though. And when they're on the bottom of them ships, how are they going to be able to explain that they're not an Edomite? What are they going to be able to say? Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover thy thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Right? Esau's nakedness is being seen now with this whole war that's going on in Israel. Everyone's revealing it, man. They're revealing how they're shooting down people. They're revealing how they're lying. They're revealing how no one can ever seem to say anything about them, right? But just like how nobody can say anything about the J-Wish, it's the same thing with how no one can really say anything about the other Edomites, man. No one can say anything about the other Edomites neither. And that's the head tribe. That's the reason why you can't say anything about them without getting cancelled. Because they're their leaders, man. They're the leader. And even they can't say anything about them because they'll get cancelled. But the time's coming where that's not going to be the case no more, man. That's going to get taken away. And you Edomites are going to have to deal with the fact that you are exactly who you was told you are, man. Right? And I'm going to end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.